History of the Loire. The Loire Valley is often called the Garden of France, a region where castles rise above rivers and vineyards stretch across gentle hills. Its wine story begins with the Romans, but it was in the Middle Ages that Loire wines gained fame, carried by the river to Paris and beyond. By the Renaissance, kings and nobles celebrated the valley's wines in their châteaux, cementing its reputation for elegance and diversity. Unlike Bordeaux or Burgundy, the Loire is not defined by a single grape or style. It is a mosaic of terroirs, producing everything from crisp whites to noble sweet wines, lively reds, and sparkling treasures. Its legacy is one of variety, freshness, and authenticity. Western Loire, Pays Nantais. At the mouth of the Loire, where the river exhales into the Atlantic, lies the Pays Nantais. Here, the air carries salt and sea spray, and the vineyards lean toward the ocean as if listening to its rhythm. This is the home of Muscadet, born from the humble Melon de Bourgogne grape. The wines are as bracing as the tide itself, bone-dry, saline, refreshing, often aged sur lie, resting on their lees to gain texture and quiet depth. They are wines that speak of the sea, pairing effortlessly with oysters and seafood, echoing the maritime spirit in every sip. Beneath the vines, the soils tell their own story. Granite, gneiss, and schist, fractured stones that lend Muscadet its mineral edge. Each glass is a dialogue between rock and water, between vineyard and ocean. To drink Muscadet is to taste the Atlantic itself, its austerity, its clarity, its whisper of salt carried on the wind. Middle Loire, Anjou, and Saumur. As the Loire drifts inland, the river's voice changes. The salt of the Atlantic fades, replaced by limestone cliffs and rolling hills. This is Anjou and Saumur, a land where diversity reigns, and the grape that defines it all is Chenin Blanc. Chenin here is a chameleon. In one vineyard, it becomes a dry, mineral-driven white, sharp as a blade. In another, touched by noble rot, it transforms into golden sweetness, shimmering with honey and apricot. And in Saumur's cool limestone caves, Chenin sparkles, crafted into effervescent wines that dance with freshness. But Anjou and Saumur are not only about white. The soils, tuffeau limestone and schist, also cradle Cabernet Franc, yielding reds of fragrance and lift, wines that carry notes of raspberry, violet, and earth. They are supple, yet structured, approachable, yet profound. To walk these vineyards is to see versatility in motion. Chenin bends to every style, Cabernet Franc whispers elegance, and the land itself insists on balance. Anjou and Saumur remind us that wine is not one voice, but many, each glass a different expression of limestone, climate, and human patience. Touraine. As the Loire winds deeper into France, it reaches Touraine, a region where the river slows, broadens, and reflects the sky like a mirror. Here, the vineyards speak with two distinct voices, Chenin Blanc and Cabernet Franc. In Vouvray, Chenin shows its full spectrum. One hillside yields a dry, mineral-driven wine, sharp and crystalline. Another, touched by noble rot, offers sweetness that glows like amber, and still others sparkle, effervescent and lively, carrying the freshness of limestone caves. Vouvray is Chenin's most versatile expression, a single grape transformed into a chorus of styles. Further west, the reds of Chinon and Bourgogne take center stage. Here, Cabernet Franc thrives in limestone and gravel soils, producing wines of fragrance and lift. They carry notes of raspberry, violet, and earth, supple yet structured, approachable yet profound. These wines are not about weight, but about elegance, reds that whisper rather than shout, wines that invite conversation as much as contemplation. Touraine is balance incarnate, whites that shimmer with versatility, reds that sing with fragrance, soils that insist on harmony. To taste Touraine is to taste the Loire's heart, where diversity becomes unity, and every glass reflects the river's calm, steady flow. Upper Loire, Sancerre and Pouilly-Fumé. As the Loire approaches its source, the river narrows and the vineyards rise on chalky hillsides. This is the Upper Loire, where the voice of the valley becomes crystalline and pure. Here, Sauvignon Blanc reigns, shaped by soils of chalk, flint, and limestone that lend the wines their piercing clarity. In Sancerre, the wines are sharp and luminous, carrying notes of citrus, green apple, and fresh herbs. The chalky Kimmeridgian soils give them a backbone of minerality, a structure that makes them both refreshing and profound. Sancerre is the Loire's most precise whisper, clean, focused, unforgettable. Across the river lies Pouilly-Fumé, where the same grape speaks with a different accent. Here, the flinty soils impart a smoky edge, a subtle gunflint character that defines the appellation. Pouilly-Fumé is Sauvignon Blanc, with a spark of mystery, a wine that lingers with depth and intrigue. Together, Sancerre and Pouilly-Fumé are benchmarks for Sauvignon Blanc worldwide. They are wines of purity and precision, wines that remind us that simplicity, when rooted in terroir, can be the highest form of sophistication. To drink them is to taste the Loire's final voice, a crystalline echo of river and stone, a reminder that elegance often lies in restraint. Laws and classifications. In the Loire, authenticity is safeguarded by the AOC system, which defines grape varieties, yields, and methods for each appellation. Unlike Bordeaux's rigid hierarchies, Loire's strength lies in diversity. Each appellation is its own identity. From Muscadet to Sancerre, Vouvray to Coteaux du Layon, there is no grand classification of estates. Instead, quality is proven bottle by bottle, vineyard by vineyard. This democratic spirit reflects the Loire's philosophy. Wine here is not about prestige, but about terroir and truth. The Loire Valley is France's most diverse wine region, a river of styles flowing from the Atlantic to the heart of the country. Muscadet's saline freshness, Chenin's versatility, Cabernet Franc's fragrance, and Sauvignon Blanc's purity together form a tapestry of elegance and authenticity. To taste Loire is to taste variety itself, a region where every bend of the river brings a new voice, a new expression, a new story of French wine.